Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Saturday, March 29th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am live. It is week 13 of 2025, and in my neck of the woods, it is currently 66 degrees with a high of 71 and a low of 63. I love those low temperatures slowly creeping up. Welcome to my broadcast. I am here for the next 3 hours for coloring, companionship, chat, friendship, giggles and laughs, pretty pictures, and the what, the how, and the why of adult coloring. Let's get this not blurry. Welcome to my YouTube peeps who pop in and chat with me. That is always delightful. Welcome to my YouTube peeps who'll see this broadcast after the fact. And welcome to my Facebook peeps who'll see this broadcast when I download it into my group, Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. All right. So we got a lot going on tonight. We've got our duet colorings, which I have been splitting amongst 3 images just to show you the high points of each one. We got our little boy here that's been playing in the mud. Jonah asked me to color beer, so I showed you guys how to do that. And then the full piece that I will be coloring will be this little girl with the braids and all the other stuff around her. So this is actually the duet piece. So let me set that aside for a moment. Then we've been working on the Disney Celebrations coloring book, and I am just about to finish Moana. I still have the dress to do, a few things over here, the turtle, the fish, and we can wrap this one up. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. This was a gift. The book was a gift from Sarah. And I've been having a ball doing this for you. Tam, which one are you talking about? This one? Oh, Jonah, I love it. Ho, Moogie. Hi, Moogie. Oh, don't you just love autocorrect? All right, let me set that aside. And then tonight I'm going to be working out of Kirby Roseanne's Dark Fairy Tales. Brand new release from the master of his book. He's a lot of fun. And this is an interesting book, I'll tell you. Okay, let me see how everybody's doing today. Oh, you just showed hubby your Moana and he said mine looks better than the original. Well, thank you, Carmen. How sweet. Thank you, hubby. All right, let's see who's popped in. Mamie, Jonah, Tam Tam, Carmen, Miss Maggie, hi, Sandy. Let's see. So my two questions to you are this. Well, first of all, did you hit that like button? Please do that for the group. Angry Bear. There you are. Oh, he gave me a thumbs up. I love it. The second question is anybody having a birthday or an anniversary today? And the third question, how has your day been? Win, lose, or draw? I'm going to say draw. Let's see. Let me go back here. Tam Tam draw, Jonah draw. Sandy win. Her grandson visited today. All right. Remind us of your grandson's name. Mamie draw, Angry Bear draw, Carmen draw, Maggie draw. Okay. Tucker, that's it. 3 years old. Hello, kitty. Janie Wynn got a Frosty with my hubby. Stephanie Wynn finally found an 8 to 10 tall weeping bottle brush tree to plant in our backyard. Will be delivered and planted in about 10 days. I love trees. Oh, Sandy says actually 3.5. Okay. So I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. And change up a couple things. Normally, for anybody that's new to the group and watching this, I put out the message that I would be doing dark fairy tales to different groups. Normally, we do our buddy color first. And this buddy color is free. These are the 3 that I gave away for free. This is from my Celebrating St. Patrick's Day Jubilee book, which is somewhere in my pile. There you go, Celebrating St. Patrick's Day Jubilee. This is the book that they're out of. And I normally give away 3 and then we do 1, but I was asked how to color beer, so I did a partial coloring on the 1, but you guys can finish that up if you like. This one, I wanted to show you how to emphasize the footies and the face. And then, like I said, this one is the one I'll be working on. So normally I do the buddy color first. So for anybody that's new, understand that so that you don't get confused when you watch additional days. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on Kirby Roseanne's Dark Fairy Tales first. And get a little bit of a start to it. So let me get my paper towel. I will be finishing Moana, of course. And then depending on how the time goes tonight, we'll see if we can get some of that buddy coloring in. If not, we'll get back on schedule tomorrow. Okay, I know that several of you picked up the book. This is from Angry Bear. Thank you so much. All right. So I've got that noted. And the image that I'm going to be doing is Little Red Riding Hood. And by the way, Sandy sent a picture of her grandson. Oh, looks like he's got an Oreo. And a big red fire truck. Is that kid heaven, is to have a red fire truck and an Oreo? And his name is Tucker, for anybody that missed it earlier. Okay. So let's get going on our book. I know several of you have purchased the book. Oh yeah, I remember when you colored his picture when he was 9 months old. I sure do. Let me get my swatch. And I'm going to start up on the skin. let's see what we got here. Okay. Let me zoom in so I can swatch these for you. This is my light. This is my medium. And this is my dark. So there are the three colors. Now, I am purposely making her skin look a little bit pale. I think I would be pale too if I was fighting a wolf. Now, you guys know that I tend to do this, that when I have a picture, I tend to do the skin first, and that way it gives us a basis for doing everything else. So let's go ahead and get that going. Let me sharpen up my pencils. How many of you picked up this book? Now, if you're new to the group, the way we do things around here is you are absolutely free to talk to me, ask questions, introduce yourself, and when I'm coloring, if you... Oh, Sarah, thank you for liking and sharing. And if you need me to, for example, pull out or zoom in or whatever, let me know. In other words, this is not a one-sided broadcast. If I was going to do that, I would just do the broadcast and I wouldn't make it live. All right, so let's start up on the face. Don't forget your paper towel to put underneath your hand to keep everything from smearing. Now, Curvy Roseanne's books are spectacular. The paper's thick. And it's got a good surface to color on. Mamie, did you put in that link for the 3 buddy colors? Now, if you're new to this broadcast, I suggest you join my group, Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. My buddy colors are free. Thank you, Mamie. You snuck that one by me, didn't you? And my little choo-choo train of thought just got derailed. Ha! I think I was saying that I suggest you join my group because that's where I put my buddy colors, which are the freebies, which I normally do in the beginning of the broadcast. All right. Let's pop down to the arm. Well, let's not. Let's just stay up here. Now, I'm going to use my medium color. And we're going to use that around the base of the nose. And up the side a little bit just to define that edge. And then we'll come in around the mouth. And around our chin line. Now, notice, hi Grace. Notice that as I'm doing this, I'm coming in a little bit from the edges, and that's creating a lighter spot both on the nose and in the cheek area. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Okay, then we're going to come in with our dark. And remember how I've always told you that when you add a dark edge to something, it makes it look dimensional because the human brain sees dark as being further away. So now I'm going to stick to the edge here, but be sure that you blend it in. And notice now how that face is starting to take on some beautiful features. Grace, how's your day been today? Win, lose, or draw? Draw. Okay. And notice what a difference of our three, that the three colors make on our skin. Skin is not hard, guys. And I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow here up at the top. And finger blend. Just to smooth that out a little. Smooth it out, blend it out. And then I'm going to get a light pink. Let me swatch that for you. Oh, you can't stay, Grace? Okay. I'm glad you stopped by. Tomorrow night I'll be back to my normal format. So we'll have the Buddy colors and then the Kirby Roseannes. Oh, you're not home. Well, that's pretty impressive that you still dropped in even though you're not home. Thanks for letting me know. Now, I normally don't call out pencil brands because people have different pencils, but this is an Amazon Basic salmon color. And Amazon Basics are a great budget pencil. I think Mamie has the link to them if anybody's interested. Okay. Now, I'm going to add just a touch of pink. We're not trying to go after any makeup here because obviously Little Red Riding Hood is in a very stressful situation. She is probably flustered. And notice how I'm working that pencil. You want to come in light and then just work your layers until you get the shade that you want. Angry Bear, how are you doing today? All right, so we've got just a little bit of color on her. Nothing spectacular. Now let's go down to the arm. I'm starting with my lightest color. Take your time. It always helps if I stay on camera. Boy, you guys are so demanding. You want me to stay on camera all the time. Okay, Sarah, thank you. Okay, there's our light base color. Let me pull out a little bit. Now, look at the difference between the face and the arm. Our three colors allow us to get in some good shading. Now, this is my medium. And notice that when I add the medium, it starts to lighten up that center portion. That's exactly the look that I want. And the shading is very subtle. Then I'm going to come in with my dark. And this is where we start to get the dimension. Now, Kirby has already shadowed underneath. Boop. And again, we're doing multiple passes. Number one, you want it for that layering. Number two, it allows us to decide what tone we want of that particular pencil that we're putting in. Now we have shading here between the fingers. And the last place that I'm going to put my darker color is just along the top. Just ease that color in there. And that's going to give us our rounded look. And I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I must be healthy. Groups of 3. Oh, thank you, Tammy, Mamie. Hey, I got a great group. I'm feeling blessed. Janie, thank you. All right. Looking good. Let's go ahead and look at these 2 pieces now that I put in. Yeah, Sarah just bought the PDF of my Critters and Tutus Jubilee. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. Now, remember, I always tell you guys when you're doing things like this, trust the process. And this is where a lot of people get hung up and have problems because they'll start the color stuff and they'll think something they're working on doesn't look good, and then they start ditching the whole thing. Okay, let's do the knees. And I need to grab a tissue, so I'm going to mute you for a second. Okay. Now let's start up. Actually, I'm not going to do the knees. I'm going to do this other arm. Sorry. Take your time. Do your little circles here. Then I'm going to come in with my medium. And I'm going to put a little bit of medium color above the shading that Kirby put in his book. And notice how the center of that arm now is starting to become lighter. Guys, skin is not hard at all. And then I'm going to come in with the dark. Take your time, work your pencil into the paper. And of course, don't forget when you pick up your pencil, give it that little bit of turn so that the point stays sharper longer. Now let's get in between our fingers here. And yes, Sarah, eyeshadows, backgrounds, perfect. That's what I'm planning on using on this page. We want a very dark background. And then a little bit of my darkest color where? On the top. Blend it in. No streaks. Remember, guys, when you're coloring, you want to see the results, not the mechanics of how you got them. All right, let me pull out. And you can see how we're starting to build little red. Questions, comments? Okay, now I'm going to do her knees. Angry Bear says SFSG. So far, so good. She likes me. She likes me. Okay. Our lightest color. Now, again, guys, if you're new, please don't be shy. The last I knew, nobody in my group bit anybody. Now, take your time. And again, I want you to look at the difference between the legs and the arm in doing this coloring. All right. Medium color towards the outside. Now, because we have so little space between our darker area and the medium that I'm putting on the top, I'm not going to put medium on top of this dark area like I did before. So it's just going to go in this one area. And Angry Bear, I want to thank you again for getting our group this book. Now I'm going to take a little bit of medium and I'll put it in between where our dark spots are. And then I'll come in with my darkest color of my light, medium, dark on our flesh tone. And again, don't forget to turn your pencil. And let's get that outer edge. And then hold on. Hello, Papillon. Now, a lot of people get confused about coloring over black. So here we have this dark area of the knee. Now you're going to work on a sweet French country style pottery coloring that you're adoring while I lurk in the background and watch you guys create little red magic. All right. Do not let dark shading intimidate you. And the way I want you to think about this is if Kirby hadn't put in these darker lines to indicate shadow, that we, if that weren't there, should be coming in like I am now and making that darker. Does that make sense? That's how you learn to color. Our leg is folded, and that's why we have lots of shadow here. Okay. Let me pull out. Check it out. Okay, guys. Sorry, my mute popped on again. Thank you, Papillon. So what I said was, now you can see why I like to color the skin first, because it sets the tone for everything else. All right. Oh, let's see what we got here. So we want some very vivid reds. And let me show you my dark, medium, and light. Here's my dark. Here's my medium. And here's my light. Take a look at that, match your pencils, and then we can move on. Okay, now I'm going to concentrate on the cape for the moment. Now, as you can see in the folds of the cape, and I'm going to choose this one right here so you can see what I'm going to be doing. Here's my darkest red. And notice when I put that dark red in there that I just don't abruptly end it across the top. I'm going to bring it up. You want that for your dimension. Then I'm going to come in with my medium. And make sure that you blend that border between your dark and your medium. Here's our dark. And then our medium. I'm sorry I moved off camera there. So our dark is at the very top here. And just below that is our medium. Okay. Now we need to hit the nuances of our cape. So we've got some dark here. And we have the dark right underneath the head of the wolf. Now be careful on the right hand side that you don't go up too far into the wolf here, because our cape with our medium ends here. Now I'm going to come in with my light. I haven't done my medium yet. And make sure that your coverage is as uniform as possible. That's a blending issue and coloring issue. And be sure that you color in the direction of the material. In other words, when this curves around like this, that's how you want your stroke to go. Isn't that beautiful? And always color with the idea that you're going to be blending it with something. All right, now we've got our dark in here. And then we're going to come in with our medium. We're going to slightly blend over our edges, that borderline with the light. Blending, 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 rawhide. Isn't that beautiful? Any questions? Now I'm going to detail in with my dark. And then our medium. Finger blend. And then our medium coming down on the back. And then over here. Now, guys, do you remember when I suggested yesterday that if you have trouble selecting green pencils, that you pick out your true green pencils and separate them so that whenever you have to color something a true green, you have them available? I would suggest that you do the same with your reds. Okay, medium. And you can see how important this blending gets. Okay. Let me pull out. Angry Bear, are you happy with what you're seeing so far? Okay. Dark, medium, light, medium, light. And remember, always keep an eye out towards blending what? Your edges together. Okay, light, medium, and a little bit of light in between here. Don't just mush your colors together here. Pay close attention to what your dark, medium, and light is. Okay, light on the bow. Now, don't get lazy on your bow because we have a couple of darker areas where the bow folds in on itself. Pop that in there. And I'm also going to put my medium on the edge. of the bow. That way it's going to look dimensional. Details, guys, details. Any questions? Any questions for one and all? Okay. Now, inside our bow, we've got some dark area. And a little bit of medium. And then our medium towards the outside here. Now again, don't pile drive your pencils into the paper. Here's our dark up here. And then our light. And let's go ahead and continue with our light around this outside edge. That'll help define this. And then we'll pop in our dark right next to this arm. Now we've got a little bit of light right here. And then we'll come in with our medium. And boy, is that pretty. Okay, And let's get this area just underneath her chin. We'll come in with our medium. And then our light. All right, let me pull out and let's take a look at this. Questions, comments? Okay, I need to do the lower right-hand corner here. Let me get the dark in here. Our medium. And our light. I think we're looking pretty good. And I'm just filling in a couple areas here that I missed. Finger blend. Okay. Now, we have some areas of blood that are on the head of the wolf. Now, tomorrow I'm going to do the dress. And I'm going to put it in blue. It'll be kind of a light country blue. And I just noticed an area where I missed the rest of the ties. So there's our light. My Linda, so glad to see you. Tam Tam, good night. Okay, now we're going to have a little bit of our dark along that tie. We'll have the dark in the center where the two come together. And we'll edge this. Okay. Now, on the knife that just killed the wolf, dark red. And because the area is small, I'm going to go with my light red. And again, I want you to notice that as I'm bringing that red up, it's not straight across. Now, actually, I'm going to bring that down a little bit. I don't want to go up that far. We'll do the rest of the knife in a metallic silver. And then I'm going to bring in a little bit of Payne's Gray. To make that blade shiny. Now, I've got to go back on this blade. Let me see if I can get a little closer. There's the other side of the blade. A little bit of red on the tip, silver moving up. And then for the side of the blade, I'm going to come in with black pen because I want that contrast. And I'm also going to put black pen on the underside of the hilt. And on a little top knob. And then I'll come back with my silver. And we'll get the rest of the underside of this hilt, which of course you just didn't see. There we go. And then on the very top here, now, considering that she's holding a bloody knife over her arm, I'm going to add a little bit of a blood drop coming off the tip of the knife and onto the arm. And these are the little extras that I want you to think about. Now let me go ahead and do this part here as well. We're going to have a little bit of dark on the top and the side. And then the light. So in other words, you want to shade that blood on her arm. And let's go ahead and do the same on this other drop that I added in. I'm coming in with my darkest. And we'll add that to it. Now, keep in mind that we're going to have the blue dress around this, so this will clear up. Any questions? Let me pull out. Here's where we got on this so far. Okay. Next project. Now, tomorrow when I do this, we'll be back to our normal schedule where I'll be doing the buddy color first and then this second. That way you'll know where in the broadcast this is. Okay. Okay. Again, thank you, Angry Bear, for the book. Definitely different, I'll tell you. Here's a good one for the Wizard of Oz. Oh, Angry Bear, you're welcome. Thank you for supplying the book. Okay. Let's finish up Moana. I really don't have that much more to do. I started to work on the skin, ran out of time. So now I'm going to work on her dress. Now, it looks like I missed a little bit of her hair yesterday. Or the other day, I should say, when I did it. So I'm going to finish up her hair. Jonah, good night. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Happy Jonah, sleepy Jonah, purr, purr, purr. Janie, you put white acrylic marker on the white waves. That'll work. Okay. Payne's gray. And then my black. Don't cover up all of your Payne's gray. Now, on the original book, her outfit is in oranges and yellows. Carmen, good night. Water-based marker. Don't forget to press your finger once on it to get rid of any wet spots. And then I'm going to come in with some red. Let me get my orange back up near the top. There we go. And then we've got some brown shading on her dress. We have a little bit of Payne's Gray on the hem. And then we have a little bit of brown shading on the pattern here. Again, it's a little hard to distinguish what's what, but use your guide. And then I'm going to come in with my eraser and just clean up these white areas a little. You'll see why in a minute. Now, I've got a few more. I'll do that in a minute. Now we're going to get our ivory. Okay, Maggie. And then I need to go back to the left here and fill in the mast around the tie here. I missed it. There we go. Oh! Excuse. And then I'm going to come in with my brown pencil and we're going to color in the little dots, teeny tiny little dots. That are on the bottom of the skirt. All right. And excuse me, I need to use my tissue again. Back in a flash. And then I'm going to go over to our rooster. And I'm going to use water-based marker because I want him pretty bright. Excuse me. Okay. Lightest blue towards the outside here of the feathers. Tap that with my finger to get any water blotches off. Then our dark blue. And then we have our, let me tap that, little orange footies. And then our orange around the outside. And a little bit of our yellow. Okay. Let me get a little spot that I missed here. And then we'll get our sailboats. Well, let's see. Water-based marker. Brown. And then our yellow. and a little bit of orange. Okay, Sandy. Isn't that pretty? Check it out. Now, I'm going to go in and put a light green on our little pearl or gem. Kind of make it look like an ocean thing. That way it doesn't get lost in the sauce. And I'm also going to take my white and re-energize my burst. Much better. And we've got a little bit of white over here by this yellow. Over the sailboats, that's where our sun is breaking through. And then I'm going to go through and just whiten up my waves a little bit. Remember, guys, white is a very powerful color. and take your time. Now, we have a large bank of waves right here on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and layer them in white. And then I'm going to take a very light gray. You'll hardly notice it. And I'm going to add a little bit of gray shading on this. And notice that I'm adding it where the artist put their lines. Check it out. Hopefully you can see this gray on here. Remember how I told you to put a little bit of a dark color underneath a wave and that makes it look pronounced? That's basically what we're doing here. Okay. Back to our white. And notice now how this white is really making this piece look really cool because it stands out. Don't underestimate the power of your white. White, gray, and black. All right. How cool does that look? What a difference. Let me pull out. Okay, turtle. We have turtle, turtle, fish. So let me power up my eraser, clean that off. Okay, now, in the original, our turtles are very dark and the fish is very dark. But we do have a little bit of light on the top of it here. So I'm going to use a little bit of light green. And I'm going to do it a little bit differently than the original. I'm just getting my ocean back in here where I accidentally erased. Hold on a second. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put my light green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the shell with it. And then I'm going to come in with a very dark green. And notice that the turtle is starting to slightly disappear, which is what it's supposed to be doing. And notice how my light green is still staying intact. As I've told you before, even though you may layer a pencil over a previous color, that previous color is still going to show up. That's the nature of colored pencils. All right, here's my dark green on my second turtle. He's going to disappear for a minute, but then we'll get him back in a moment. Okay, Payne's Gray. I'm coloring over my entire turtle's back, including coloring over the lighter green, but as I told you, that lighter green is staying intact. That's what colored pencil does. In other words, I'm doing this a little bit differently than the original because I don't want my turtle to disappear. And then I'll come in with my white and lighten up that area that I did in the light green. Now, notice that the white is taking on the characteristics of the green. That's what white does. Okay, second turtle. He is there. But just barely, and that's what we want. It's like a peekaboo turtle. Okay, and then our fish. Our dark green. And then our Payne's gray. Okay. If nobody objects, I'm going to call this one done. What do you think? Not hard. Any questions? Do not blow off these Disney books because you think they're hard. They're not. They may take a little bit of time, but so what? That's what we enjoy about adult coloring. Okay. Another one for the record books. Janie says, I've got more books than time. Well, Janie, that's why you come into this group. Okay. Let's play around with our little girl here, our St. Patrick's. Celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Jubilee. Drum roll. This is our buddy color. Now, what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to make her hat green. I'll do a reddish tint on the hair, and then the rest of it, so in other words, her outfit, I'm not going to do it in green. I'm just going to do it in standard colors. All right. So let's play around with a hat. I want you to get out a turquoise. And I'm going to put a little bit of a turquoise tint on the hat with the green. And basically, my turquoise is going to be where my light colors are. And this will make sense as I do the hat. All right. Then I'm going to go down to the bottom here. And I'm going to run the turquoise to about there. Don't go any further with it. Again, you'll see why. me see where my colors are. And then I'm going to come in with a darker turquoise. Trust me, this is all going to make sense. Look into my eyes. Would I lie to you? Isn't that beautiful? Miss Sarah, good night. Sarah, are you happy with the way I'm doing the Disney celebrations? Okay, light green of our light, medium, dark. And we're going to go up to about there. And then we're back with our light turquoise. Ah! Check it out. And this green and this turquoise look absolutely fabulous. Now we need to get a medium green. And our medium green goes up to a certain point. We back blend it, of course, into our turquoise, right? And then we get our dark green. Back blended into our medium. Back with our medium green in some of these areas. Now watch carefully. And then our dark. Let me sharpen and get underneath that hair that's up there. And look how these different shades of this green look absolutely terrific on this hat. Back with my light just to blend a little bit. Got a little bit of green on my hair. All right, let me pull out. Look how beautiful that hat looks. Isn't that gorgeous? Sarah. Oh, she probably left by now. All right. Now, I show you these color combinations because I want you to start looking into them when you do your coloring. Turquoise and green look fantastic together. All right, I've got about 5 more minutes here. I'm going to bring my turquoise up a little further on the top of this hat. And then I'm going to go in with my dark green. Check it out. Look how beautiful that's looking. Hang with me, guys. And get into your little crevices here. To distinguish these flowers. And the leaves. Check it out. All right. Let me pull out so you can see. Look how pretty that hat's already looking. What do you think of the turquoise? So what I basically did is I substituted the turquoise for a light green and then did my medium and dark on the rest. All right, we got a lot done tonight. I finished up Moana for you. I think it came out pretty well. I'm happy with it. And I started Kirby Roseanne's Dark Fairy Tales. Our Little Red Riding Hood. I think we're in pretty good shape with it. Okay, guys, this is ILene Vick. For Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick, guys. Joyous, joyous coloring. Love on each other. That's what we're known for. Please be sure to hit that like button. Please share this broadcast. And I will see you tomorrow night, same time, same place. and we will be back on our normal schedule. Okay, guys, take care. Love ya. Bye.